Here. Councilmember Zuccolillo.
Here.
And Mayor Bullock.
Here.
Okay, council consideration 2A, pursuant to Public Contract Code Section 20166, consider rejecting all bids received for the Almond Street multi-modal improvement.
All right, good afternoon, Mayor Boland and council. First, thank you so much for accommodating your schedules and holding a special council meeting this afternoon. The item before you relates to our Paradise Gap Closure Complex project, as well as the Almond Street Multimodal Improvements project, 2 ATP grants that the town was awarded back in 2016. We are excited to be close to construction, and on September 8th of this year, council approved the plans and specs and authorized staff to advertise for bids. This is about a combined $7.2 million construction project, and we did advertise for bids, and we collected bids on November 10th. We received 8 total bids prior to 4 p.m., and the bids were opened and read aloud. We received very good bids as a whole, very tight, which is representative of a good plan set, and that our contractors are interested in the work. And we were also pleased that initial results show that the project looks to come in under our engineer's estimate. With that said, our apparent low bidder, Jason Abel Construction, did have various deficiencies in their proposal. And in this event, we sought legal counsel with our town attorney and was advised that it's in the best interest of the project, the schedule, and the risk to the town to recommend rejecting all bids and re-advertising the project. With that, we shouldn't see any impacts to schedule, knowing that we can move forward and re-advertise a 21-day period effective Saturday, starting Saturday, contingent upon council action today. With that, we could ensure that a contract is awarded before the end of the year and still be ready in a good position for construction to start when the winter season ends, early spring of 2021. With that, we're also asking council to adopt a resolution approving the revised plans and specifications. During any bidding process, it allows for opportunities for bidders to find little tweaks that need to be made or discrepancies. And so we had a couple of addenda that were issued through our last bidding process. And so we're able to clean up that bid set and make sure we have a good project to go back out for bid. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions or concerns the council might have for this item.
Questions?
What happens if the same low bidder does the same thing?
Well, that is a great question. We've certainly communicated the deficiencies to the low bidder, and that certainly is a possibility, but the idea would be that they would fix these issues. Yes, so that, without going through the list of deficiencies that they had in their proposal, it is our hope that they would fix those and present a clean bid. But it will also provide another opportunity for better or for worse for other prospective bidders to move forward and know what numbers other contractors are doing and maybe tighten the competition, and we could have a different low bidder. That is something that could happen.
So, and this might be more of a Dwight question, but why can't we just reject that bid because it's deficient and take the next bid?
Would you like me to answer, Dwight? Or? Okay.
That would seem pretty
Okay.
easy.
Well, the basic law is you have to award to the lowest responsible bidder. Whenever you reject the lowest bidder because of some legal technicality, you're subject to litigation because of that, because we would have the burden of showing how that impacted the low bidder to the extent that we could not accept the bid. If a subcontractor's license number isn't listed, does that somehow or another give an unfair advantage to the low bidder? That is an argument that you can make either direction. So rather than get involved in litigation, which wouldn't serve the interests of the town, it would be prudent to reject all the bids, which you have the authority to do without giving a reason, and then re-advertise for bids. I'm just reading a case, the bid went out in 2015. The case ended in 2018. 3 years of battling over a similar situation. There was the state of California that had a
Wasn't trees,
project.
was it?
But
Sorry.
it was a 3-year battle over a similar situation. It's not in your best interest to incur all those costs and to have then the project maybe stalled during that period of time with an injunction. So there are too many problems associated with rejecting the bid and the low bid, and then awarding to the second lowest bidder, because you could end up in litigation very easily. Frankly, an attorney's already contacted me about this on behalf of the low bidder, and so when you look at the ledger and you say, what are the benefits and detriments? The benefit of rejecting the low bidder at this time is outweighed by the problems associated with litigation. Even if you win litigation, you aren't going to be happy, okay? Because it takes too long and it's too
And we're not
complicated.
under time constraints right now.
Yeah.
No, the project schedule, we are within our authority to deliver the project with this change.
Time constraints don't
So it's prudent.
make a move like that. Okay.
Thank you.
Other questions? Any, call in, have it,
I had no emails on this item, and the phone has not rang. So you may want to wait just a couple of minutes, or 30 seconds, to see if there's a delay, if anybody does call.
give it a minute or so. Jeopardy music or something. Oh. You good.
No.
All right, hearing no calls, we'll move forward with what's the council's wishes.
Approval.
I'll second. Motion by Jones, seconded by Schuster, to adopt resolution number 2040, approving the updated plans and specifications for the Almond Street multimodal improvements and the Paradise Gap Closure Complex, and authorizing re-advertisement for bids on the projects. Roll call vote. Vice Mayor Crowder.
Aye.
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Councilmember Schuster.
Aye.
Councilmember Zuccolillo.
Aye.
And Mayor Boland.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Council initiated item, consider discussing adopting the resolution number 20-41, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Paradise to participate in coalition defending U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service decision. That California spotted owl is not warranted to be on the list. Mr. Crowder.
Thank you. I received an email from Christie with the California Forestry Association asking us to consider joining this coalition, which from everything I've read will help manage the forests and what have you. There is no cost to us. There is no reason to think that we could get, no matter which way this court case went, that we would be held accountable at all. I read through it. I don't see a disadvantage. It's something we have to do today because they need an answer tomorrow to include this. And so I thought we would put it on the agenda and see what the rest of the council thinks. And I'd like to get the rest of the council's input.
Who's challenging the decision?
It is
There's a whole list.
Yeah,
There's a list of about 3 organizations that are challenging it.
No, Sierra Forest, that one. Defenders of Wildlife and the Center for Biological Diversity.
yeah, I should have
Well,
highlighted.
that tells me what I need to know.
Earth Justice, Center for Biological Diversity, Sierra Forest Legacy, and Defenders of Wildlife are listed as contacts. I don't know if they're the only ones that are on here. So, I mean, my concern is in entering this, I'm not sure how it benefits Paradise to be part of this coalition. But primarily, my 2 biggest issues is that I don't think we've had enough time to research this, and it's just not our fight. To my first point, I was made aware of this yesterday, as we all were, and if we're being asked to weigh in, I think we should do it with presentations and information from both sides, not just blind opinion. But that said, cursory research shows that the spotted owl does not live in Paradise, and it doesn't live in developed areas, and it prefers higher elevations and more dense canopies. Though it's important for the council to look beyond our borders at things that will have a direct impact on Paradise, delisting the spotted owl will not have any direct impact on Paradise. I reached out to a couple of people. I spoke with Jim Broshears. Apparently this also went before the Butte Fire Safe Council, and the Butte Fire Safe Council has wisely chose to push it off because of a lack of time to do proper research. And Jim also agreed that this is not our fight. He said that this is primarily focused on federal forest lands, and those lands that could have an effect on Paradise, such as in the Concal and Polga areas, for example, have already burned, so the point is moot. He also mentioned that several projects that have proceeded that were not in any way impeded by the existence of the spotted owl on the endangered species list. I spoke with Sue Britting of the Sierra Forest Legacy, who is listed on there. She provided confirmation that Paradise and the areas around Paradise are not considered habitats of the California spotted owl, and agreed that this is not our fight. But what concerns me in this is the idea that an organization is seeking to use the tragedy of the campfire in the name of Paradise to promote their own political scripts. The language that was used in the request was, well, for lack of a better term, incendiary and designed to elicit a knee-jerk reaction. And I really don't think that this is anything that Paradise needs to take a stand on. But even if the council disagrees with that, I think that more information is required before we make any decisions to move forward with a resolution joining this coalition.
Steve, are you aware of any organizations that have signed on to this?
I'm sorry?
You need to speak in your mic so people can hear.
Well, it's too loud if I get right up on it. Are you aware of any other councils or whatnot that have signed on to this?
I am not. I got this, actually it was Doug Teeter that told her to send this to me, and so I read it, and, Melissa, may be right as far as it not encroaching on Paradise, but just reading it, anything that we're going to do to help keep our forests more fire safe, whether it's in Paradise or outside of Paradise, is something that, if we can help somebody else avoid the tragedy that we had, I kind of think that's a good thing, and I didn't really see it as using our tragedy for a political view. I saw it more asking for help so the tragedy doesn't happen to somebody else. So that's my way of looking at it. And I mean, it's not, I'm just bringing it here to get, the other opinions and what have you.
Michael, anything?
I mean, other than what I've read, I mean, I would be likely to be be in favor of it, but, I haven't seen the spotted owl in Paradise, but you never know, the fire did start outside of Paradise, so I guess anything is possible.
I
so.
still don't think the spotted owl did that.
No, but I'm sure it's habitat.
Anything, Joe?
No, I don't feel like I have enough information.
So, the one part that I do like about this is the spotted owl was used years ago to stop the cutting of forests and use them for timber. And that happened back in the late 80s, early 90s. Drove lumber prices through the roof because we couldn't cut our forests. And I do believe that has significantly added to the fire danger we have in California. I absolutely believe that 100%. The only political part of this whole thing is them trying to stop people from cutting forests. That was the political side of it for these Sierra groups and these different ones that tried to grab anything they could. Spotted owl was never endangered. It's been proven that way. It was absolutely just used to stop people from harvesting timber out of the forest. For that reason alone, I have no problem voting for it because, but the problem is they'll grab something else. They'll just grab another beetle somewhere that burrows somewhere, and you know they're going to die if we cut trees down. So it's almost an endless species thing they're going to find. But this was used for absolute political purposes, yes, to get their agenda across to stop us from harvesting timber, and it was totally wrong back then. And I think we're reaping a harvest of that right now. I don't know any more than that. I have not really spent much time with this or research. Melissa, you've done a lot more than I have, so I appreciate that. So I have no problem voting for it. I don't have a lot of information on it. The only reason I'm voting for it is because I know what they used the spotted owl for in the past. And to me, that was wrong, and it was bogus. And they knew it. They knew it the whole time, but they played the game. So anyway, what's the wishes? Is there any cards or call-in or?
I've received no emails on this item, and we haven't had no calls.
Rose has her hand up.
Like to come up?
I didn't know you guys were going to discuss this today, but just in a way of some perspective. Between 1989 and between 2008, according to a study co-authored by Robert W. Malsheimer, I'm probably going to mispronounce that, there was 1,125 lawsuits were filed challenging Forest Service land management decisions. The agency settled about 1/4 of these cases and nearly won 54% of them. So to your point, this is exactly what's been happening. As the lawsuits come about, they prevent any type of forest management, and then the trees are there, we have a catastrophic fire like we just did. Just recently, on April 15th, a coalition of national conservation groups filed a notice of intent to sue the current administration over the federal agency's decision not to increase protections for the California spotted owl, even though the United States Fish and Wildlife Service decision issued a November of 2019 determination that the species is not in danger of extinction, and these lawsuits cost valuable time and taxpayer dollars to fight. So that's what's behind this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And your position is you'd be for us moving forward, or what was your thoughts on this?
As regards,
I would be in favor of you guys signing on to the coalition, because it will affect our forest management practices. And it's not just about the spotted owl being in the area, it's about even the potential of the spotted owl habitat being in your area.
it's not, though. I mean,
But they
that's-
did extend it in other lawsuits to make it that way, and that's was part of the problem. So there was just an overreach. So, anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll move to support it.
I'll second.
A motion by Zuccolillo, seconded by Crowder to support adopting the resolution. Vice Mayor Crowder,
Aye.
Councilmember Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Schuster?
For the reasons that I stated, I don't think that we have enough information in terms of what joining the coalition means to the town of Paradise, and because I don't believe that this is our fight now.
No from Councilmember Schuster and Councilmember Zagrillo
Aye.
and Mayor Bullen.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-1.
Okay, unless there's something else, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.